Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. What's up, guys? It's Hunter.
I'm Tyler.
This is the Secret Set Podcast, and today we have a very special guest.
Hi, guys. It's Lucy Dorado from Lucy's Paradise Podcast. What's up?
Awesome. So, Lucy, you also have a podcast, which you just said. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So when I was getting out of the Army, I got out in November 2023. I knew that one of the creative projects I wanted to put a lot more energy into was a podcast. And so I spent about 2 years planning for it. And then when I finally got out, I then started launching my own podcast. And that podcast is on YouTube, Spotify. And yeah, it's called Lucy's Paradise Podcast. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good creative outlet that I have.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's like focused kind of on fitness and stuff, isn't it? Kind of?
It's actually focused on like interviewing and like other people's stories.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of like the sky's the limit with it.
Cool.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to stick to some sort of niche yet. I kind of did a lot of research. And part of the research I did was what's going on in Hawaii, like what podcasts exist here. And then I realized that because I am a female, there's definitely a space for me.
Yeah. Of course.
And then kind of deciding what I wanted to do because I have so many varied interests.
Yeah.
That kind of made it to where I was like, I shouldn't really make it too specific just
So
in
hard,
case.
yeah.
And so I always have an interest in people, and then I want to bring things in Hawaii to light. So that's kind of where I started.
Awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's kind of like the idea we had for like Secret Set was to just like the original idea is just to showcase like local artists and stuff because there's so many here, but since it's such a like
That's cool.
closed market.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the like actual like United States has like no idea what's even going on in the EDM scene out here.
No, totally makes sense.
So-
And I'm stoked to, and it's funny because I'm born and raised here. So I've seen the scene, EDM scene, and like what was popular back when I was like 16, 17, 18. And I've seen it all the way go now. Like, ask Miko, like I've gone to every single one of his sets probably.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then like flash forward how many years later, and now I'm DJing. It's
Yeah.
like super strange.
We just had Damien Dieselboy out here on the podcast, and he was talking about like every time he's coming here, he's like, we see the EDM scene, it like rises up and then kind of drops down and then rises up and drops down. He's like, over the years I've come out here and there's been great crowds and then no crowds and great crowds. Where do you think we are like right now? Like since you've been out here and kind of seen the scene, where do you think we're standing? Like,
That's tough because, you know, in Hawaii, like tourism is a big thing. And then I think with COVID, that kind of just made party scene in general kind of dissipate.
yeah,
When it comes to like raving itself, I think there's always going to be ravers.
right.
It's just with the problem that happens in Hawaii is people don't know where to go, and then people still have the appeal of not necessarily supporting the big artists. They want to go to underground stuff.
Yeah,
So then you have that pull where they're a raver, but they don't necessarily want to go to the big events at Waikai. They kind of want to, like, if you tell them about a pop-up, they'd rather go to that.
right.
So it's just very tricky here. I think we have a lot of different variables that kind of make it hard to keep a consistent rave scene. And then if you're looking like right now, it's like Christmas holiday time. A lot of people travel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that are in school here go on break and go home. Stuff like that. So you have just so many different variables here. Hawaii is just so
factors.
unique with that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say. So you said you just like when did you start DJing? You said it pretty recent, or
So I actually debuted like my DJ career, quote unquote. And the reason I'm like in quotations is I never thought I would actually commit to DJing. I'm gonna be
awesome,
honest.
yeah,
I was the type of person that like loved curating playlists. I loved, you know, supporting my DJ friends that were DJs.
yeah,
And obviously I'm an artist first and foremost, and I'm just a lover of music. I really started with music with writing. So I'm a writer, and that's kind of where my music started. So I play guitar, bass, drums, I sing. Those are like kind of my main fortes,
awesome.
In addition to
Yeah.
writing. And the DJing, you know, I started doing it, and then when I was living in Hollywood, when I was like, I think I was like 25 at the time, my friends ran all the events. So shout out to DJ Good Boy Morgan. She's like, they did all the events in LA, and there was one event that they did that they just did not have enough DJs. And I said, oh yeah, I'll like fill in for an hour. And then they were like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, like no big deal, you know? And they're
Yeah.
like, wait, but we don't even know that you can DJ. So I had to go to my friend's house, open up and back then we didn't have standalone decks.
Yeah.
I mean, so now seeing how the technology has advanced and being kind of out of the game, it's so crazy because I'm like, whoa, it's way easier than it was before.
Yeah.
Like, what? But yeah, I got the opportunity to do that and I really enjoyed it. People loved what I played and I kind of loved it. Not so much the attention from it, but because I was like, oh, I'm so glad because I was like, I hope someone likes this song.
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
did like that song.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
a
kind
good
of that feeling of like, I'm playing something you don't know you want to hear.
Yeah.
And then you hear it and you're like, wait, I needed to hear that. You know?
Right.
So that's kind of the appeal of kind of how I got into it. And then when I know recently I wanted to commit more to doing it on my free time, I just got the opportunity to join Salora Sounds, and then they've asked me to help, and then I DJ at Eve, and pretty much wherever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just fun for
No,
me.
that's like the best feeling for sure. It's kind of like when you're like out, like we don't drink or go out anymore, like to like regular bars, but when we used to, I'd like put something on like Touch Tunes, you know, and then like someone would hear the song, you see people kind of dancing, and I was like, I like this feeling. And now it's like I get to do that like weekly.
You're like
now.
at the dive bar just playing with the jukebox, and then it expands, and I think that's what I love about DJing is that like people really can learn, especially if you're a lover of music, and I encourage people to learn all kinds of things. And what's interesting is my brother was he's a producer, and he kind of got like internet fame back in the MySpace days. He had like 1 million followers on MySpace.
Jeez.
And yeah, and it's so weird because his music was so popular and so viral that he would travel to like other countries to visit and he would get recognized. Like that's so strange.
That's so cool.
And so that was like, you know, when I was growing up, I think he was like 16 when he like went viral. But it was interesting because my brother he taught himself how to mix and master music and do stuff electronically on the computer. He doesn't play any instruments. And so it's very interesting because we have two different you know, ways of how we are a musician. So it's really interesting. But growing up, like seeing him teach himself that kind of stuff and be in production, I think has also like really inspired me. So he's been stoked to see me like DJing and stuff.
That's awesome. Cool. Does he still like make music and stuff?
Only when I force him to.
Nice. Yeah.
I was like, have you tried your hand at production at all, or do you just stick to
that's
the
kind of
instrument?
Where I want to go next is to be able to do that, because right now I have an amazing producer. So shout out to Nick Tara. He's been my producer for a few years and a really close friend of mine. But you know, and he is able to teach that, and that is, I think, the next step for me is to be able to learn how to do production on my own. But as an artist, I've kind of really just focused on what my talents were originally, and it's a lot of work. Like I'm in school full time, I work full time, I do I balance a lot already. So learning production's not really in it right now, but I'd love to.
Yeah, don't blame me there.
Yeah, I think sky's the limit. So I think eventually I would definitely love to learn more.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That is production is definitely I don't know, like I thought it was just gonna be like kind of like another leisurely hobby that we were doing, and now I just feel like we're just like every day I feel like I'm learning something, and it's
There's
not a
so
hobby I'm
much
ever
to
getting ahead
learn.
of ever.
Right, there's so much to learn. And I mean, there was one time even recently when I was in Los Angeles, I booked a studio time and my producer did not end up being able to show up, and so I was there just being like, dang, I don't even know how to turn any of this on. So that was my opportunity of like, wait, I need to start learning all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I had another musician friend show up, and I was like, honestly, this is good for us because we need to like mess with some stuff. We need to start learning. And so it was actually good because I was like, you know what? I need to not rely on anybody. And I think that's what people don't understand about like music production is when you can produce music, you can control a lot of the music. And it's really hard if I'm just a singer or I'm just an artist and I don't know how to do the production side of it. Now I have to go and pay somebody to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, I pay somebody for my beats. I've paid people to do production for me. I don't mind doing it and paying because I know that they're more talented than I am. But at the same time, if I knew production, I could save a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a push and pull, but it's also very time consuming. So time is money at the end of the day. And
that's true. Yeah.
That's why I was telling you, like for my podcast, I actually I was paying somebody to do all of the production for my podcast. And in the beginning, it was very helpful because I could focus on the content. Now it's a lot of work, but I still somehow pull it off. So
Yeah,
it works out.
we tell people all the time, like being a duo and like everything is like I
Helps.